Matt and Big Al present the Gamertime Podcast.
McSorley from the goal line, slant, and there's Hamler, the speedy freshman. They'll never catch him. KJ Hamler, touchdown. Welcome to college football.
Here we go, it's Gamertime Podcast time. Everybody's back. Matt and Big Al here for your entertainment. It's week 11. The NFL locks right here on Gamertime Podcast. Big Al, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Matthew? Good to be back and ready to roll for this week 11 NFL edition of Gamertime Podcast.
Yes, sir. We had another little hiatus there for week 10, but we're back here on week 11 with some fresh, hot picks. A brand new podcast, as you can see, as you can hear, as you can do all that. Nice little intro. We're back, revamped, a little bit of rest. We're back.
Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir. All right, man. What do we got? Who's first up?
Well, first up, week 11, tomorrow night. Gonna be cold, gonna be frigid, windy. Who knows what's going to happen, but that's when the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Cleveland Brownies.
Cleveland Brownies?
Baker Mayfield. So, Matthew, these Pittsburgh Steelers, up and down, pretty good game last week against the Rams. Going to Cleveland, division battle, who do you like?
The Steelers are playing pretty good right now. I don't know how many in a row they have. I think 4 out of the last 5. They're playing really, really well. They've got a nice little hot streak going, and the Browns are in the complete opposite position. They're coming off a win, but they're definitely not performing the way they should be. And I really like the Steelers to get heated up for the division game matchup here. So I like Pittsburgh.
Okay, I have to agree with you there, Matty. Just from based on what I saw of the Steelers last week, they took it to the Rams in great fashion, and I think they can. They might start slow. Baker might have a decent first half, but it all falls apart at the end. Steelers win.
Yeah.
All right, now. Next we go to the Sunday games. I'm sure everyone's ready for those. You got, first up on the docket, 1 o'clock, Dallas Cowboys trying to get back on a winning track here and head to Detroit where they battle the Lions, who battle on some injuries. So Dallas and Detroit, what do you like?
Yeah, the nice thing about playing Detroit, I feel pretty much every year, is that if you're a team who's coming off of a rough loss the way the Cowboys are, the Detroit Lions are a pretty good team that you want to play to kind of get back in the groove of things. It's not like a bottom seller team where it's an easy win, but if you get the win, it's a nice little boost going into the next week. It's not too hard, it's not too easy, that kind of thing. The Detroit Lions are just one of those teams, middle of the pack here. The Cowboys are looking at the bigger picture, and I like the Cowboys.
That's good. I'm glad we can agree again. After that tough loss to Minnesota, it's one I thought we should have won, and even though they stopped the run and we couldn't stop their run, Dak almost let them back, but almost doesn't count. So they need to start winning again, and the team that they're battling with plays New England, I believe, this week. So it's a good time to get a couple wins and get back, stay on top of the division.
Yeah.
I like the Cowboys as well. All right. Next we got another division game. Jacksonville goes to Indy, where I don't know if Nick Foles is back yet, but you still got Minshew But Indy just came off a loss to Miami, so I don't know what the heck's up with them. Who do you like this division?
Yeah, you're right. I think Jacksonville, I think Nick Foles isn't going to start this week. I think they're going to bring him back next week. I think that's what I heard. Either way, I'm not a huge... I think Nick Foles is decent, but I don't know if he's like a savior. Like, I think the Jaguars should look at the draft for a quarterback. But anyways, the Colts their record at 5-4 right now is, I feel like, not a good depiction of how good this team actually is. I think that they've had a pretty tough schedule so far, and they're just a better, more surprising offense, I think, with the retirement of Luck and all that stuff. I think that the offense, a lot of people expected them to kind of take a hit with Brissett, and Brissett's playing really, really well. It just hasn't turned into very many wins. I don't think the Jaguars are that great of a team, though, and with Indy being at home, I like the Colts. So.
Fair point, Matt. Again, fair points with what you're saying. I just don't know if the Colts can come back from that loss against Miami. I mean, I understand Miami hasn't won a game already, and now they won 2. But I just don't think mentally they're over that loss, and I'll give Jacksonville one more chance. I like the Jaguars on the road. All right. Now, speaking of the Dolphins, we got them at home in a division game against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Bills have a great D. Miami, well, they won 2 games, so they can find a way to win. What do you like, Buffalo, Miami?
Well, I really liked how Buffalo had started out the year, the first half of the season. They had a letdown last week. I really was surprised with the loss that they had. I think it was to Tennessee, I think. But it was a team that they were heavily favored, in my opinion, and they didn't show up, and they actually got the loss. Oh, was it Cleveland? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, the Bills, sitting at 6-3, are still a decent pick for the wild card right now, and the Dolphins are not anywhere close to the playoffs. So I definitely like Buffalo in this one.
Well, Matthew, back a while ago, we were talking about Miami. They might not even win a game, and now they won 2.
Yeah.
They won against the Jets and against the Colts. They're at home against a Buffalo team who I love the defense still, but I'm not sold on the offense. Give me Miami again, number 3.
Oh, 3 in a row.
Give me number 3, baby.
All right.
I'll take the Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. Alright, so we move on. Now we're going up to Minnesota, where where your Denver Broncos will be saddling up. What do you like in... Do you find any chance to beat the Vikings on the road?
I don't. The Minnesota Vikings offense is a little too strong right now. They're playing really well, and I think that they're an even better team at home. And the Broncos just haven't shown enough this year to be taken seriously, honestly. They got a nice win last week with a first-time start for the quarterback, Allen, but it's not going to translate. This team is too tough, Minnesota. And I have Minnesota winning this game, at least a touchdown.
Okay. Man, I'm gonna fly the coop with you and go with those same Vikings, because I know what they can do. Even without Thielen, I don't know if he's playing or not. But, you know, the Vikings beat the Cowboys without Thielen, and their running backs were just devouring our defense. So I can't imagine what they would do to Denver right now. No offense, I still like parts of your defense, but I'm gonna give them 10 to 14 point victory. I'll go with the Vikings.
Nice.
Now we got the Saints, who were marching out of here against the Atlanta Falcons and got derailed at home.
Yeah.
From the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think anybody saw that coming, but now this time they go on the road to another division, down in Tampa Bay. Do they bounce back? Saints, Tampa.
You know what? I really hope so, because if they lose to Tampa here, there's some big issues, and big issues regarding Drew Brees. I mean, he's a so-so team for the first 2 weeks, get injured, and then the team takes off, and then he comes back from the injury, and they're right back to kind of so-so. I don't know. There's something weird there. Anyways, the Buccaneers team, their offense is pretty good. They're a little high-powered offense, but the rest of the team just isn't. They're in a tough division. I'll give them that, with Carolina and Atlanta also there too. A lot of offense to face, but yeah, the Saints are the better team, and they should win this game.
I'm gonna go with you on this, Matt. I just see it as a bounce back game. Like, you know, all right, we got that bad taste out of our mouth, and now it's time to play football again.
Right.
I think I'm a little afraid to say which way this is going to go as far as score-wise, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints blew them out.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the Saints as well. Now we're going to go to the New York Jets, who I'm guessing Sam's still seeing ghosts. I don't know. He's going down to DC, and he's going to battle Dwayne Haskins and the Washington Redskins. Battle of the really, really bad teams right now, even though they got some victories ahead of time. Who do you like in this bad matchup?
Yeah, so the Jets are coming off of a nice little win against the Giants in the Battle of New York there. But the Giants aren't, a great team to be, happy that you beat them. Most teams should beat the Giants. And this is a similar situation again for the Jets here. Most teams should beat the Redskins. Now, the Jets aren't that great themselves, but Sam Darnold, if he's going to be the franchise guy, he needs to start turning it around, and turning it around pretty much right now. They need to stack up a couple of wins here just to save the head coach's job, in my opinion. But we'll see. The Redskins are a complete dumpster fire. I don't even need to talk about them. I have the Jets winning this one by, let's call it a close one. Let's say win by a field goal.
Okay, you like the Jets by a field goal. Matthew, I'm taking that dumpster fire. I'm sorry. Dwayne Haskins got his I think he's making his first official start, and it's against this Jets team who gave up 30-some points to the Giants and still manages to get the victory. I know about Darnold. I know he's pretty good, but something's fishy here in DC. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't seem right to me. I think Washington comes out with a victory. So just somehow. I don't know how, don't know why, but give me the Redskins.
Alright.
Alright, well, now, we got that same Atlanta Falcons team who just demolished the Saints, are they going to demolish their other rivals in the Carolina Panthers in Carolina? What do we got there?
I am going to... You know what? The Carolina Panthers are coming off of a game where it's nice and snowy and cold and white in Lambeau Field. Now, they didn't get the win, but they were close. Okay? McCaffrey had another great game. He's probably the best running back in football right now. The Falcons coming off in the nice win against the Saints, I have a feeling it's a bit of a fluke. They're still touting a pretty good offense, though, with Julio and Matt Ryan and all of them, but I think that the Panthers' defense is good enough to slow them down to the point where the Panthers will have enough opportunities to showcase McCaffrey, and the Falcons' defense is really, really bad. So I have the Panthers at home, definitely.
Really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
Just to hear you correctly, you said the Falcons' defense was very, very bad, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You see, if it wasn't for that blowout win, I would have to agree with you. But, did you know that Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints had a total score of 9 points last week against that same Atlanta Falcons team? So to say that they're bad, I don't know. I'm a little surprised. I don't know where Drew Brees' head's at right now, but to say that they're bad, yeah, I'll stick through it with you, even though the Saints couldn't score. But I think Carolina will score. I think they definitely win a close one. They'll win, but close.
Okay.
We got battle of scrambling QBs here. We got Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson going down to Baltimore with the superstar Spinneroonie, Mr. Lamar Jackson. Who do you got in Baltimore?
So everybody's calling Mr. Spinneroonie here, Lamar Jackson, as a close-up for MVP. He's in the conversation. Probably him and Russell Wilson, and maybe the opposing quarterback here in Deshaun Watson of the Texans. But I definitely think there's been more highlights and more hype for Lamar Jackson as far as this game. Because it's in Baltimore, I think I'm leaning Baltimore. I really like what Houston is doing, though. And ironically, after getting rid of Clowney to Seattle and Watt to injury, their defense has actually picked it up a little bit. They're playing pretty well. They have got a pretty good record, and they're atop of their division at 6-3. But that's the AFC South, and that's not, saying all that much. But the Ravens, they're also playing really well. They handed the Patriots their first loss of the season. I think because they're at home, I think they pull this one out. But I do think this is a pretty close, and probably this is, in my opinion, this might be game of the week. This could be something like 35-31 Baltimore. That would be my guess.
Okay. As long as I like that pick, man. As long as Houston finds a way to keep up that defense to it, they can keep them under control for a little bit. I'd say definitely the game will be close, but I think Baltimore will make enough plays on defense to get to cover Watson what's the receiver?
Hopkins,
thank you.
Yeah.
I think he'll be kind of held in check for a while, so making them make a lot more plays. So, and I don't know how much they're really going to stop Lamar. So I like the Ravens at home.
Nice.
Now we got Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray battling a team that there is no more undefeateds in the 49ers. After that loss in Seattle, against Seattle, if they come back firing, I don't know. What do you think with these two teams?
You know, I really like the 49ers this year. I think they're playing much better than what a lot of people would have predicted. But they did lose their first one last week to Seattle. And I actually felt the 49ers played pretty well against Seattle. I think that they had a chance of, still getting the win against a good Seahawks team. Garoppolo, I'm not sure what's up with Garoppolo. I think he's got a very up and down season so far. But the rest of the 49ers are playing really, really well. The Cardinals are still a team in rebuild mode. They've got their franchise quarterback, but they still need, help across the board pretty much. Their record, though, is, better than advertised, in my opinion. For a team with the number one pick, you're going to have some rebuilding time and maybe like a 2-win, 3-win season. And they're currently sitting at 3-6-1 with the tie in week 1. But the 49ers are definitely the better team. They're at home. This is kind of a bounce-back game for them against another easy opponent. Friendly confines. The timing is nice coming off of a night game. You're pretty much back to normal for San Fran. So I'm definitely going 49ers.
Okay. So you're all on the Niners. Now let me tell you something, my friend. Arizona has got a coach who knows how to run a lightning fast type of offense, better than Chip Kelly, I'd say. No offense, Chip, but he knows how to get those boys rolling. He's still got the old awesome veteran and Larry Fitzgerald. Got some nice running backs in there. Young receivers help. Larry Fitzgerald's helping these young receivers. You got a quarterback who can run. I don't think he's going to be running too far against the Niners. Going into the Monday night game, everyone was calling Jimmy G Brady 2.0, and I said, "Whoa, slow down." Don't get that crazy yet. He's growing, but don't go Brady stuff yet on me right now. That's so disrespectful. But I'd say they bounce back against those Cardinals with a high-flying win.
Alright.
Now, to Oakland, and where Chucky is coaching the Raiders. They're battling the winless Bengals. Just help me out here.
I love that delivery. The Raiders. They're battling the winless Bengals.
So speaking of them, hey, we were all making fun of Miami, and look, they won 2 games. Do you see this Miami Bengals team beating Oakland?
No. Oakland's playing really well right now. They've got aspirations of catching Kansas City, and I feel like they're doing it the right way too. They've got a really good rookie running back, and they're a lot of play action. They're hitting their tight end. Their tight end is one of the best tight ends in fantasy. So there's a lot of guys playing really well for the Raiders right now. And them being at home against probably the worst team in football right now, yeah, I'm going Raiders.
Okay, well, the Bengals. Okay, that's my take on them. Okay, moving on. Oakland. Yeah, they they got the running back, the run game, they got defense. Yeah, enough said on that. Come on. Raiders.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Alright, now here's a game that could have been changed to the Sunday night game, but is at 4:30 for you local watchers.
Yep.
And it's gonna come from the city of brotherly love,
Oh yeah.
where the Philadelphia Eagles is gonna host Mr. Brady and Belichick and company, New England Patriots. Man, I honestly don't know where to go, honestly, but we all have to make picks, so who do you like?
Well, this one. Okay, so they say that you never want to bet against Bill Belichick after a bye week. They say you never want to bet against Bill Belichick after a loss. And they say you never want to bet against Bill Belichick when he's had time to prepare. Okay. Now, of course, Super Bowl time rolls around. Most of the time they're in it. The opposing team's got 2 weeks to prepare. And, so does Bill Belichick. And they've got a great Super Bowl record. How many have they lost? 3 out of 9 or something like that? So, they're really, really good, in other words. The Eagles, on the opposite side, also coming off of a bye week, also with time to prepare and heal and get better and practice and, think up a nice little scheme for the Patriots and execute it to perfection until they know that they got that on game day. Being at home, the Philly crowd is really, really going to show up for this. It's going to be insane in Lincoln Financial. It's going to be just bonkers. I saw an article earlier today that said that Bill Belichick actually has very fond memories as a kid of the city of Philadelphia, which I thought was a very weird headline to see, but hey, whatever. They said he's got a soft spot for the city of Philadelphia. Anyways, so take whatever you want out of that, but so for my prediction, I'm going to predict that the Patriots come out a little slowly. The Eagles are going to jump out maybe a 10-point lead in the first or second quarter. And, they're going to be in a lot of situations where they can kind of carry it further. There's a couple of red zone trips and a couple of things like that. But I feel like they're going to come up short pretty often, which is going to give the Patriots the perfect time and the perfect momentum swing to kind of get back into the game, and I think they do that. So this game is definitely not going to be decided in the first 3 quarters. It's definitely going to be a fourth quarter game. Potential for overtime in this one. There's a good shot. I am going to go with the final score to be 30-24 New England. He was even playing really well last week, and they still took away some carries. It's just I don't understand. Like, he looks healthy at times, and there are times where he doesn't. So I understand taking back the workload, but if you're going week by week and he's out there playing really, really well and showing signs that he's healthy, then what are you doing? Like, feed him. Like, he's healthy and active and clicking. He's probably the best running back in football. Like, you need to feed that. You paid him. You know what I mean? You invested in him. I just don't understand what they're doing. I didn't understand it during the playoff run last year. But, whatever they're doing, there's got to be a reason for it. So we'll wait and see. Maybe it's, they're saving him, I guess. But, as of right now, I feel like they're missing opportunistic times where they could use him and he can contribute to probably a couple more wins. They're sitting at 5-4. You know what I mean? I think that they, with a solid run game that Gurley could do and everything that Gurley could do, I think that they would be a much better team, at least offensively. So they're another disappointment. My pick goes to probably the Rams at home, just because I think that Trubisky might be the worst player on the field in that game. Goff isn't that much better. Well, I think Goff's better, but he's not playing much better right now. But Trubisky's just, I don't see very much from Trubisky.
Yeah, the Rams, Mr. Goff for himself, didn't have the best. I saw him make some really bad throws in Pittsburgh last week. That worries me, especially against a, as you said, Matthew. This Bears team, I think you're right. They're a solid defense. They got players, but they're not at the same level as they were last year, as you previously mentioned. So, being a primetime game, and if I understand correctly, the Rams haven't, in the last, I don't know how many possessions, might have one touchdown. So that's a little scary, but for some reason I say they get back on track with that scoring. And just this week, I know it's the Bears D, but I feel like they're gonna take back that scoring and almost score like they did last year against Kansas City, where it was a 100-point game.
Yeah.
So I think they get some offensive touchdowns back on the field, and they beat the Bears.
Okay.
Now, Monday Night Football, and this is a battle between the Chiefs and the Chargers. But guess what? The Chargers don't have home field advantage, and neither does Kansas City. Because they're dancing in Mexico. So, Matthew, Kansas City, Chargers, division, prime time. Who's going to be wearing the sombreros down in Mexico this week?
Kansas City by 3 touchdowns. End of story.
Oh, wait. You didn't even give a take on the Chargers.
I don't need to.
Well, okay, fair. That's fair. I didn't give a point on the Bengals, so you don't have to say anything about the Chargers.
And that's exactly how I feel about the Chargers. They are equivalent to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Chargers. What do I say about the Chargers? Phillip Rivers underperforming. The whole team kind of underperforming. Melvin Gordon was just a distraction. Anybody that tells you otherwise is just oblivious. They were playing much better to start the season. He comes back and they lose a couple, and I don't know where they stand right now. They can't get past the Raiders, I don't think. They took a loss to the Broncos. I'm not sold on the Chargers at all. The Chiefs are getting Mahomes back, and he had a decent game in his first game back last week. But now this is a game where he is completely healthy, and he's feeling great, and he's completely back to normal, and he's gonna just annihilate the LA Chargers. So he's going to get his sombrero, his chips and salsa. He's gonna whip up a nice soft shell taco, throw a little Charger sauce in there, and completely devour the Chargers.
Wow. I can't argue with you more, Matthew. But look, this is a league of upsets, and because who would have thought the Tennessee Titans can take down the Chiefs? I mean, hey, it's the NFL, baby. That's what it's meant to be. So, you never know in the NFL, but I don't see... I see a victory by Kansas City. Dancing, chips, salsa, all that good stuff. And I think they'll be shaking their maracas out of Mexico back home with a W. Nice. So, but hey, remember, it's the NFL, never say never, so, but this one I like Kansas City.
Alright, there you go. Sorry, so people, there's our Week 11 locks right there for you. We did a nice quick one here. We're only at 39 minutes. So let's recap a little bit on what you're playing right now. What do you got? What do you got in the controller base, and what are you doing as far as the Maddens, the 2Ks, the FIFAs? What do you got?
Okay, well, what I have in the system, Matthew, right now is a little thing, and don't try this at home or school or anywhere, but I have wrestling in.
Okay.
And you gotta leave these things to the pros, because if you try to do it like the pros, someone's liable to get hurt. And right now, I am doing career mode with, in WWE 2K20, when you do my career, you do, you have to create both a male and a female, and the storyline will combine the two male and female players that you create, so they do the story together.
Oh wow.
And you battle, you go from low end up to NXT, and then eventually to Raw or SmackDown when you had to talk to Triple H and all that. But yeah, it seems pretty fun right now. I'm halfway through and can't wait to see more. But that's what's been playing the most. Every now and then I'll do some primetime games with the Madden games to see how it computerizes. But the same thing with NBA. Continuing my season with a made-up team. But right now it's just about the wrestling.
Nice. Yeah. Well, to answer my question, as what's in the system, I got a big old cloud of dust because I am an all-digital gamer. I do not go to the store very often. I like to get my copies on the PlayStation Store and download them, and that way I never have to get up and change discs for this and that and whatnot. So yeah, I am an all-digital gamer. I am very excited for the future in that, by the way. They've got a nice couple of rumors about Project X Cloud for Xbox and what the PS5 is going to do next year and all this good stuff like that. So subscription based. For anybody who, for all you ESPN Plus fans, there's a nice little deal going out right now. As far as if anybody's known, there's a big deal up on Disney Plus, which just opened up yesterday morning, with great new shows. It's the Star Wars Mandalorian. They're coming out with some Marvel stuff that'll be on there. There's every single little Disney original movie from the TV shows. You also got all the classic movies that we grew up on. You got everything on there, but there's a nice little deal going with Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus, all for $13 a month. So
Wow.
Yeah, it's a nice little deal. I watched the first episode of Mandalorian for Star Wars fans out there, and it is pure gold. I cannot wait because I believe episode 2 comes out in 2 days, so I'm very excited to watch that. But that is kind of my point, though. My point was that that's the way of the future, streaming and subscriptions and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for what that means as far as sports gaming going forward. As you know, can I tell Big Al to go on and watch me play Madden, and him be like, okay, let me jump in, and he jumps right in from his living room, or something crazy like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But as far as what I'm playing a little Madden, playing a little 2K. But the biggest thing right now that I've got is I'm switching over to my PS3 so I can play NCAA 13. Yes, 13, not 14, but 13. It's a great
game,
man. It's amazing how good of a game that is. It's from 6 years ago. It's so good. So.
Oh yeah, I played that too, and last night actually I did a snow game with Penn State and Minnesota, but just I did it the right way.
Yes.
Penn State won that game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was a tough one for anybody else. Any outsiders that didn't know, number 4 Penn State did take the loss to number 17 Minnesota, and those rankings have drastically changed. Minnesota with the biggest jump in playoff ranking history, which is only like a 10-year history now, but
right.
It's the biggest jump from 17 to 8. So they're a good team. I'll give them that. The receivers, they've got like 3 NFL receivers on their team right now. So they're pretty good. We'll see how they do against some of the other good competition. And to be honest, if Penn State does get the upset against Ohio State, we're most likely looking at a rematch for the Big Ten Championship in Penn State and Minnesota. And I gotta be honest, I still think Penn State's the better team. I think if you play this game 5 times in a row, I think Penn State wins 4 times. I just think Penn State's the better team, and especially on a neutral field. If you play this game in Indy, where the Big Ten Championship is held, I think that Minnesota doesn't have that ruckus crowd that they had this past weekend, and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how the season unfolds. Penn State's got to get past Ohio State, which is coming up in not this weekend but next. And trust me, all the guys here in PA, we're super excited for that one. It's going to be a crazy matchup. So yeah. But all right, people, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This has been the Gamertime Podcast, Week 11 locks, plus a little extra there on the end. So we are riddled with bye weeks, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the games are less and less for the last couple of weeks, but that should end. I don't know when the bye weeks end. I think somewhere around 12 or 13, so we're coming to the end of it. But yeah, so that's why the podcast will be much more games going forward. But yeah, so once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in on YouTube, where you're most likely watching this. You can also chat with us on Twitter at Gamertime Shows. If anybody's got any interest in some, advertising out there, we're wide open for that. Or if anybody wants to throw in a topic or two, or a question or two, or something like that, email us. gamertimeshows@gmail.com. The account is always open. I am always checking. So anybody's got any ideas, any topics, anything like that, please feel free to email. So on behalf of me, I am very, very, very happy you guys tuned in. So, Big Al, let them know.
You got it. And I agree with you, Matt. And just people, don't be afraid. Might be big and bad on the radio, but hey, we're friendly in person. So just send us your likes, your dislikes, some great ideas. Ideas for the show. Anything you want to talk about, just let us know what you want. We'll deliver.
Yes, sir.
Until next time, enjoy the week. Be safe. Stay warm. And God bless.
All right, people. We'll see you for week 12. Later.
Peace.